Okay, 79, number 1. Parallelogram ABCD is similar to parallelogram EFGH. Okay, that means that angle A, so if this is, say this is 70 degrees, then angle E would also be 70 degrees. They corresponding angles are congruent for similar figures because they are the same shape. So whatever angle A is, angle E is the same. So whatever angle B is, so if B is, say, 110, then angle F would also be 110. Corresponding angles are congruent for similar figures. Now, for STAR tests, you should be allowed to use 2 different color highlighters. Okay, and I suggest you do. I suggest you highlight your corresponding angles. Let's change this to, it won't let me. So, highlight your corresponding sides. So side BC corresponds with side BC would correspond with side FG. Right there. Those are what we call corresponding sides. And angle AB, let's do green for AB. Side AB would correspond with side AB EF. Right there. Those are what we call corresponding sides. So what is the length of FG? Okay, so there's 2 ways we could set this up, or 2 main ways we could set this up. We could say green over yellow for this one, for the larger one, green over yellow, so that would be 2 over 4. Green over yellow would equal green over yellow for the smaller one, 1.5 over FG, whatever FG is. Let's call it FG. Okay? So we could set it up this way, or we could say green of this one over green of this one, so 2 over 1.5 equals yellow of this one over yellow of this one. So that would be 4 over FG. Now you notice we could cross multiply and divide these. We'd get 4 times 1.5 divided by 2. And if we did the same thing here, we'd be doing if we cross multiply and divide it here, we'd do the same thing. 4 times 1.5 divided by 2. So, or we could just say, here, this one is the easiest way to do it. You can see this in your head. 4 times 2 is 4, 2 times 2 is 4. 1.5 times 2 would give us FG, which is 3. 1.5 times 2 is 3. You also could have done it cross multiply and divide. 4 times 1.5 is 6. 6 divided by 2 also gives you 3. So FG will be 3. This is going to be 3 centimeters. What is the perimeter of parallelogram EFGH? Well, opposite sides are congruent for parallelograms, so we're looking for EFGH. So if this is 1.5 right here, this side over here will also be 1.5. If this is 3 right here, this side over here will also be 3. So the perimeter would be 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 3 plus 3, or 3 plus 6, which would be 9 centimeters. The perimeter is all the way around. Number 2. Triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEC. Okay, so that means angle A is congruent to angle D, angle B is congruent to angle E, and angle C is congruent to angle C, of course. So when you have a problem like this, I suggest redrawing one of them at least, maybe even redrawing both of them. So I'm going to go ahead and redraw both of them. So I've got ABC here, and angle A, this side length is 12. This side length, BC, would be 9 plus 7, which brings me to 16. Okay, 9 plus the 7, so angle side BC is 16. And then I've got my smaller triangle, which is inside, and that's my DEC. And this is 7, and we're looking for DE. Okay, so there's a few ways we could set this up. We could say short over long of this one, so 12 over 16 would equal short over long of this one? We don't know. DE over 7. Okay, we can set it up like that. Or we could say, let's go ahead and label these. Let's go ahead and mark these. So that corresponds with this one. I suggest doing this if you have highlighters. And this one corresponds with this one. So we could say, here we've got red over green of the small one equals red over green. I'm sorry, red over green of the big one equals red over green of the small one. Or we could say green over green, so 7 over 16 equals red over red, something over 12. Okay? I prefer to use this one because we can simplify this 12 over 16. 12 over 16, this is a similar to a divide by 4 is 3, divide by 4 is 4. This is a 3 to 4 ratio. Okay, so this would also be similar to a triangle that would be 3 to 4. That would be the simplified version of that triangle. That would be similar to this, and it's also similar to this. And then we can just we cross multiply and divide. So 7 times 3 divided by 4. Or we can say what times 4 equals 7? Let's cross multiply and divide. 7 times 3 is 21. 21 divided by 4 should give us our solution. So 21 divided by 4. 4 goes into 2 0 times. 4 goes into 20 5 times. Add a decimal, add a 0, bring the decimal up. 5 times 4 is 20. 21 minus 20 is 1. Bring down this 0. 4 goes into 10 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. 10 minus 8 is 2. Bring down this 0. 4 goes into 20 5 times. So 5.25 would be our solution. 5.25. And now if we wanted to check this, we could do 7 times 12 and make sure that equals 16 times 5.25 because cross products are always equal in proportions. That times that, if they truly are equal, is going to equal this times this. Okay. So length of DE is 5.25. And what was our units? I think we had meters here. So meters. Alright, what is the difference between the areas of ABC and DEC? Okay, area of a triangle equals 1/2 the base times the height. You do not have to memorize that. It is on your star chart. So let's see, since this is our height right here, because that's our perpendicular angle from the base, our base would be 16 here. Half of 16 is 8. 8 times, so we have, let's just write it out. 1/2 of 16 times 12. Okay, now since this is all multiplication, you can do this in any order. I'm figuring out the bigger triangle here. ABCD. I'm sorry, ABC, triangle ABC. So half of 16, 16 becomes 16 over 1. It's the same thing as 16 divided by 2 is 8. So this gives us 8 times 12. So the area of the bigger triangle is 70. I'm sorry, 8 times 12 is not 72. It's 96. 8 times 12. So the area of the bigger triangle is 96. The area of the smaller triangle, well, this right here is 5.25. So it would be half of 7 times 5.25. So let's see here. 1/2, the base is 7, and the height is 5.25. Okay, let's go ahead and use a calculator for time's sake. So we've got half of 7 will be 7 divided by 2, which just gives us 3.5. 3.5 times 5.25 equals 18.375. So this area of the smaller triangle is 18.375. So the difference, what's the difference in the areas? Well, 96 minus 18.375. The difference would be 77.625. 77.625. That's the difference in the areas, and that would be meters. So I'm talking about area here, it would be square meters, or meters squared.